right, everyone. Welcome back to the Dungeon Gambling Hour, episode 5 on this lovely Friday, February 17th. Alongside Grant again, we're going to be recapping the Super Bowl, hitting on some NBA All-Star Weekend props, and we're going to get you the six-pack and be right on our way this week. But stick around for a good show. We got a lot coming. All right, Grant, welcome back. Had a week break last week. I know you were out of town, and we'll get to that in a second. We had really a nice show last time out. We were talking about NBA futures and everything like that, and we're going to talk about a little bit more about the NBA this week. Grant, I want to say welcome back. How was your trip out to Las Vegas?
Yeah, it was a good time. Pro Bowl weekend down there. A lot of Chiefs and Eagles fans repping their gear. I noticed while I was at most of these casinos. It was pretty cool. It was cool seeing a lot of the fans down there. It was a cool event. I didn't personally go because I didn't want to see flag football. It's not my cup of tea, but it was a good time. Sports books were cool. Didn't make a bunch of money, but it's a completely different betting in person, really. In front of a teller. So it was a good time. A lot of free drinks, and I enjoyed it. And it's good to be back.
Yeah, glad to have you back. We'll stick out west, down in Phoenix. We had Super Bowl 57 last weekend. Chiefs ended up pulling one out, and I know me and you were both heavy on the Chiefs, and it was a back and forth game. But I know personally, I think yourself, we agreed that the NFL wasn't letting Patrick Mahomes lose this game.
No,
it was a fun game to watch. I got to say, I think it. For obvious reasons, if Hurts doesn't fumble there and that defensive touchdown, it's a completely different story.
Yeah,
but
I agree.
It was I was on the Chiefs pretty much the whole week. I didn't realize why they were underdogs and everything like that. And I think the big reason that number was still there, and correct me if I'm wrong, I think it was because of that possible injury to Mahomes' ankle. And I just kind of felt, and I hate being this guy in sports, I just really wonder the severity of his ankle. Did they shoot this guy up with the most intense painkillers known to man? I don't know. I'm sure that's part of it. And they said he was getting therapy every single day, but it's just, I'm watching him after the game and he's walking fine on his ankle and he's walking fine in the parade and everything like that. And it makes me wonder, like, you never want to wish injury on anyone, but it's just like, I wonder truly how hurt he was, because he looked like a completely different animal. And then he'd scamper off for a 15-yard scramble. I'd turn and look at my roommate and I'd be like, well, he's going to limp back to the huddle because he just made a great play.
Yeah.
And I hate being that guy. And I do think he was banged up, but I think the reports were a lot more blown out of proportion than what we had. But no, he played well. And I think really one of the true MVPs was part of that Chiefs coaching staff. Bieniemy, he put together a terrific game plan for them in the second half. Very creative with his formations and his motions and everything like that. That guy he's a winner. Andy Reid alluded to it right after the game in his conference. He said, Bieniemy called it a heck of a game down the stretch, and he really did. He gave the Eagles defense a bunch of looks that they could not keep up with. I remember I was watching something on Instagram and it was how bad the Eagles struggled with guys in motion throughout the whole season. And the Chiefs, they just went back to it 3-4 plays in a row and couldn't be stopped. So it was a good game to watch. It sucked to see, the refs kind of take over. You hate to see the Zebras get interfered with the games and everything like that. I didn't think it was an appropriate call in that scenario. Was it a penalty? Sure. But these refs got to get to a point where you swallow the whistle and you don't call that, and you let the players play. You cannot let a whistle dictate the game. And unfortunately, that's what they did. Who knows? Chiefs could have scored the next play. I can't remember. Was that third down, Grant, or something like that?
I think so. I think it was a game-changing play, though.
Yeah, so. It definitely was, because that basically ensured that the Eagles weren't getting the ball back. And it's so hard for me. It seems like officiating this past year has just been god awful on all major sports levels. And I just wonder, I know Adam Silver, he went on SportsCenter a couple of days ago and he was talking about how we're going to start having punishment for referees. And I know, like, I don't want to be like the ref bash or anything like that, but I just feel like there's got to be some accountability. It happens in baseball, it happens in football, it happens in hoops, it happens everywhere and at every level. And it's not excusable when you're at the professional level. You're one of the, I don't know how many crews are you in football. You're one of the 80 or 60 best refs, in the world. And in hoops, you're one of the 30 best refs and whatever it may be. So it's just unexcusable. And we got to figure out a way to keep these guys accountable, because I don't want to see sporting events ruined by, stripes in late games. But that's about it. I know we got on our list to talk about. We want to talk about a little bit of Kick of Destiny.
Yeah.
Very, very bizarre promotion and commercial from FanDuel. I know the the week leading up to it, they're all pushing Kick of Destiny, and I thought that this Kick of Destiny was going to be, he's going to trot out in the middle of the Super Bowl, in like a timeout, TV timeout, and right there on the slippery turf in Glendale, and he's going to kick this thing. Grant, did you think similar?
I did. Once halftime rolled around in that great Breaking Bad Popcorners commercial ended, and they slapped the live sticker on top of the Kick of Destiny, you knew something was up. I mean, you could tell right away it was staged earlier in the week, because it was not that dark in Vegas at that point. It was basically pitch black where Gronk was kicking that at. So definitely odd. But I think the whole goal was to get people talking. And that's what they got out of it.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah. So, I mean, it looked good. It looked good at the start, and then it pulled about 25 yards to the left.
Yeah,
so
you got to wonder, is that Gronk doing that? Is that the wind? Is the ball,
I don't know.
Remote control? I mean, theories are flying everywhere
Yeah.
out. It would have been better. I got to say, it would have been better if he doinked. I think that would have been
It would have
better.
I don't know if you saw, but the fireworks after. So
I did. Well, I thought I was a little worried. They were like,
watching
no,
this.
like it was. I was a little scared. It caught me off guard.
Yeah, they showed it about 25 times in slow motion on the Pat McAfee show earlier this week, and I mean the wind was pretty heavy there, because those fireworks, the smoke off those fireworks
drifting.
was pulling. Yeah, it was
left.
Pulling hard left. So certainly some wind there. I'm not sure how you get that much wind out in the middle of a desert.
I don't know.
The kick looked good until it wasn't. So
yeah, that's
unfortunately we all won our what did I get a $5 free bet?
Yeah. My roommate was pissed off. He got a $5 free bet too. I got a $10 free bet from it. Wow. I don't understand why. Right. I got a little luckier, and then I think I threw my $10 on a NBA. I tried to get an NBA winners slate where I picked all 9 winners. And I was it was actually the night of the Lakers and Warriors game. And LeBron was out, so I had the Warriors in my lay, and I hit the first 7 legs, and the Warriors ended up losing by 6. And I had the Mavs versus the Kings, and the Mavericks. I had the Mavericks, and they also lost in overtime. So I would have been really gutted if the Warriors won, and then the Kings and the Mavericks, lost to the Kings in overtime. That would have really gutted me. I was pretty pissed that the lay didn't hit. But that's the thing. When I get these free bets, most of the time, you're not looking at more than $5 or $10, especially when it's from the house. So you throw them on something that's, plus 2,500, whatever, try to get a little bit of money back, and
still good on FanDuel though for giving out. I mean, that
for sure. Yeah. Good.
That's a lot of free bets.
Yeah. That's a lot of coin. And
I put mine on a future. So that we talked about a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
So
that's
I
smart.
did that.
Yeah, I think especially the free bets, you got to get something that's you can juice up the odds, because there's no point. Obviously, you don't get your stake back. So if you put it on a minus 110 play on $10, you're getting $9 back, and it's just like
exactly.
Well, what is that for? So throw it on something juicy, and whatever it may be. I know a lot of guys were doing telling this guy on Twitter with the ladder challenge and everything like that. Just.
Mm-hmm. Not my cup of tea. Not
our cup
minus
of tea.
5. No.
What you're telling me that 4 minus 800 plays aren't guaranteed to hit every night, Grant? Is that what you're telling me?
No, they aren't. Because I've been on the other side of it where I bet the minus 800, putting it in a parlay, thinking, oh, it's free money. And then Harrison Barnes.
Oh my God.
It's what cost that guy the ladder challenge a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, and I think it was on day 6.
I just sat there grinning because I mean. I knew it wasn't going to work. So
and America was telling him to. But you never want to see America lose money. But at the end of the day, it is kind of comical sometimes when it comes to sports betting. You got to be you got to have some humor in it. This isn't life or death. It's sports betting at the end of the day. So it is what it is. But yeah, Grant, good to have you back. And after the break, we're gonna get right into some NBA All-Star Weekend picks. All right, so that wraps up our Super Bowl 57 recap. Talked a little kick of destiny, talked a little Kansas City Chiefs and everything going on with them. I want to transition now to NBA All-Star Weekend. We're out in Salt Lake City this year. I know last year we had a good hometown All-Star game in Cleveland, everything like that, and it was a lot of fun. I remember we went, me and my roommate and a couple of my other buddies, we went down to the Wolstein Center to watch practice, and that was very cool. Like I think NBA does it right. Like they have one of the, I think, would you say the best All Star weekend? I think it's up there with baseball.
Baseball. Yeah, I think that in baseball. I think baseball edges it out, but
Yeah,
I think basketball is a close second.
yeah, basketball's a
Definitely,
close second, especially
definitely better than football.
when we were, yeah, football's terrible. When we were kids, like I always remember, like the one of the days I was super excited about was the Sprite Slam Dunk contest. That was when we still had Dwight Howard was in it. We had Blake Griffin, all these. We had Nate Robinson like 2 years in a row. What was he, like 5'8"?
Yeah.
But yeah,
Danny
Sprite,
Green.
yeah, Danny Green. There you go. Sprite Slam Dunk contest. That was like my favorite event growing up as a kid. I didn't even care about the 3-point contest, but now it's kind of a wash, and we're gonna get into it a little bit. As it stands right now, we got Team Giannis and Team LeBron. Team LeBron, which we're not really, understanding these lines too much right now. Team LeBron is -3. And if you're unfamiliar with how the All-Star game is going to work this year, teams are not assigned until I think 30 minutes before tip. I believe they're having a draft. So it's going to be quite interesting how that pans out. We did get some news on Giannis last night. He has a sprained wrist and he is going to be questionable for the All-Star game. I'm gonna guess he's probably not gonna play. Grant, how about yourself?
Yeah, I don't see it either. I think you see too many guys try to power it through All Star Weekend with an injury, and it ends up haunting them down the
Yeah,
stretch. So I think Giannis will probably sit this one out, and I think it's why we're seeing Team LeBron as the favorite so far, even though teams aren't set.
for sure, for sure. And that's the thing. We gotta understand that at the end of the day, it is for a little bit of bragging rights, but it's just not very it's not worth it for these guys. The risk to reward ratio, like he's still going to be an all-star. He's not still going to be an all-star captain. He's not getting that taken away. But that's the thing with some of these guys. It's just understanding that it's not the end of the world for them and everything like that. We got some really good events this weekend, especially Rising Stars, which I like about a lot. I like a lot, I should say. Um, Grant, I'm gonna pull up the rosters for you real quick. Could you just talk a little bit about how? I mean, we're both on Team Pal. Talk about how Pal can, his coaching can kind of elevate these guys.
Yeah, I think coaching is going to be a big thing, bigger than you think in this game. This is actually kind of my favorite event, at least in the past couple of years. Obviously, before it was the rookie sophomore game, but
Yeah.
now it's transitioned to the Rising Stars Challenge. And actually, a couple of years ago, it was the Team USA versus Team World.
Mm-hmm.
That was a cool event.
Yeah.
But I think Powell's coaching, I think, is going to take this team over the top. I think
Yeah.
on paper they have the most talented roster,
Yeah.
and then you add Powell as the head coach of this team. I think Team Powell is certainly should be the favorite.
So yeah, so he's got Bankero, Matherin, Ivy, Barnes, Alvarado, Keegan Murray, and Andrew Nemhard. Very, very good squad. I think one of these guys, one of these other teams that could give them a little bit of run is Team Deron Williams, Franz Wagner, Jalen Green, Alfred Senguin, Trey Murphy III, AJ Griffin, Bones, Walker Kessler, and DeSumio from Illinois is on the team. Plays for the Bulls now. I think those two guys are your lead dogs, and for obvious reasons, we have Team Jason as well, but that's full of a bunch of G League guys. So obviously, they're going to be the heaviest underdogs. I wouldn't really touch them. I like Team Powell a lot. You can get him at opened up at +180. He's actually been bet down now a little bit. Let me check real quick. He's been bet down to +170. So definitely some value there. Team Duran is +200, and then Joakim Noah has actually got a team too. He's at +280. His squad consists of Evan Mobley, Giddy, Jalen Williams, Jeremy Sohan, Quentin Grimes, Jabari Smith, Jalen Duran. So they got a nice slip players too. But I'm riding with Bankero and Ivy and Barnes, and Murray, those guys, and Matherin. I mean, that's a potent starting five. So I like their odds a lot, especially now. You can still get it plus money. If you get it in early, I know they're probably going to become more of a favorite as we get closer to the game. But yeah, it's a good place to. I think it's definitely a good spot to make some money if you're interested in putting something down on the All Star game. I know me and Grant are both in agreement on this, but I want to transition now. We're going to go to the 3-point contest where Grant's favorite 3-point shooter, Julius Randle's in the mix now.
Yeah,
um,
33%, 33% shooter
unreal,
making the All-Star or the
unreal.
3-point challenge. Probably not the best bet, especially when you got guys. I mean, I know they're not big names, but guys like Theo Pinson,
Yeah.
Isaiah Joe, those guys, I think, are dying to get into 3-point contest. And then you throw in a 33% forward shooting. Not someone I would take. Not someone I would take in this one bet.
Yeah. I'm gonna run through the favorites real quick. Or really no one's a favorite. Buddy Hield is the favorite. Everyone's still semi long shot. I know 3-point contest is always up in the air because you never know. It's whoever's hot. I think it has Curry ever won one? He's won a couple maybe,
I don't
but
know.
I feel like he
Herder in
always
this? Is
yes, he
Herder in
is
this
in
year?
it. Yeah, he
I
is.
like
So
Herder. I know
we
he's
got
not the big favorite, but I like Herder in
yeah,
this one.
so we got Buddy Hield at plus 420, Dame plus 470, Tatum plus 550, Herder plus 550, Markkanen plus 650, and then Halliburton plus 650, and a couple of longer shots. Hero at plus 800, and Julius Randle at plus 950. You're on Herder. Let me. How about Dame? Does Dame sound good to you?
I was gonna say Dame's a sneaky one. Dark
Dame's
horse for
sneaky.
sure, the veteran. He's been in a dunk contest actually.
Yeah,
So I think
yes.
he may be one of the first players, I mean, that I can recall off the top of my head that's been in almost every single All
Okay.
Stars event. He's
Yeah,
been in an All Star game. He's been I'm almost positive he was in a rookie sophomore game when he
he
was
would
in the
have had
dunk
to have been at
contest.
skills. I'm assuming.
And now a 3-point contest. So he's almost been in every school event. I
Wow.
can't name many players, off the
No,
top of my head
exactly.
that have been
Wow.
in
That's a
all
great point.
four.
Great point. I think a bet of value a little bit is the player to advance to the final round. Dame is at minus 105 and hers at plus 130. Really good value on Herder there. He's just got to make it to the final round. Um, and I think I'm going to go back to the example I had last year for the MLB All-Star weekend. I had a long shot on Julio Rodriguez for the Mariners. So Julio was plus 700 coming into it. And so I don't know, maybe I had a unit on it or something like that. I can't remember. And by the time Julio got through to the finals, he was like minus 500. So you got to be really smart about what you're doing. And if you get one of these guys early and they end up making it to the final round, just arbitrage it, get the other guy in and guarantee your profit. That's the nice thing about home run derbies and slam dunk or 3-point contests and everything like that. Like I remember Rodriguez literally jumped from being plus 700 till he was literally minus, like I said, 250 or 300. I can't remember what it was. And I'm going to be honest. I don't remember who he was facing in the finals of the home run derby, but I just put money on the other guy, guaranteed profit. I wasn't necessarily riding with Julio. I can't even remember. He might have won still too.
Was it
I got beat.
was it Alonzo from New
See,
York
that's a good
or
question. I don't think it was Alonzo. Let me
Vlad? I'm not
real
sure if
quick. It
Vlad.
might have been Vladdy too. Real quick. Let me look up the winner. It was Juan Soto.
Juan Soto,
He
yeah.
beat Julio 1918 in the finals. So yeah, I just put money on Soto because he was betting it live. He was the underdog and guarantee a little bit of profit, and that's always the best thing to do. But let's change up gears a little bit. We're gonna go to the last event of the night, which is the dunk contest. We got a couple of guys who if you don't follow the NBA too closely, you're probably not going to know a lot of these guys, honestly. Um, Odds on favorite right now is Mac McClung at plus 150, Jericho Sims at plus 280, Kenyon Martin Jr. at plus 290, and Trey Murphy the third at plus 380. Growing up, I don't know. How old is McClung? Probably 23.
Yeah, I think he's about our age.
Yeah, I was going to
I
say.
think he's a class of 2018 as far as high school
Yeah.
goes, and then he was at
So I always
bounce
remember
around.
him he had those awesome videos. I want to say he went to school in
Virginia. Yeah,
Virginia high
Gate City.
school, Gate City. Yeah. He had all these videos on overtime. And this was like when social media and high school players really started taking off. He was like one of the first guys that overtime and Ball's Life, all these guys gravitated towards. He's a heck of an athlete. This guy has proven that he is uber athletic dunker and everything like that. For a white guy, he can really get up. I like McClung in this spot here. Grant, I know you talked a little bit about Jericho Sims before. McClung, Martin, Murphy. Who do you like in this spot for the dunk contest?
Yeah, I like Jericho. I don't think Mac McClung's gonna be written off though. I don't know if you saw his comments a couple of days ago, but he said he's got about 2 or 3 dunks that he hasn't seen brought out in any
Wow.
dunk contest. So I think we're
Wow.
gonna see some. I think we're going to see some, interesting stuff from him, some creativity. And I think that's the biggest thing, is just creativity in the
Yep.
dunk contest goes a long way. Unfortunately, Dwayne Wade will probably still give him an 8. Won't give him, yeah,
D
won't give him
Wade.
much. But yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, Kenyon Martin's a pretty good dunker too. But
Yes.
typically in these dunk contests, you see a lot of two-way players, G League guys.
Yeah.
Mac McClung obviously doesn't see much NBA action, but he's killing it in the G League. Jericho Sims is, role player now for the Knicks, but
Yeah.
I like Jericho in this spot.
Yeah, for sure, and definitely get some value with him. And like you said, it's not to be understated. Creativity is the number one thing here. Creativity and originality. If you can put together dunks that no one has seen before and pull them off. And here's the thing that I started to dislike about the dunk contest. Back in the day, it used to be 2 attempts, and
Yeah.
now they got this stupid time limit. And I don't know, maybe the rules have changed this year, but I'm pretty sure it's still time limit. It's like as many dunks as you can get off. And I think there's needs to be a point where like, yes, like you can do these crazy outstanding dunks, but like you should be able to do them. It shouldn't take you 4 or 5 attempts to get this down. And I think the scoring is so like objective. I mean, it's so hard. I would be in a tough spot for the score. So you don't want to give a guy just because he took, 5 times to make a dunk. You don't want to give a guy like a 4. Like that's not how it works. So it's about being creative and how well you can work with props and other players and teammates and everything like that. I think the guy who can do that the best has the best shot of winning. But yeah, so I'm glad we were able to talk about the all-star hoops and everything like that. And when we come back, we'll get you right back into the six pack. All right, everyone. Welcome back to the Dungeon Six Pack. I know it's been a while, and if you can remember all the way back to episode 4, we went 3-3 in episode 4. Not the way we wanted it to go, but hey, we're 500 and brings us to 15-9 on the year, still up in the green. Our picks last time out, we had Dartmouth plus 1.5, Wizards minus 3.5, Fred VanVleet over 21.5 points, which was a winner. Mount St. Mary's plus 16. And then we had 2 winners. We had under 240.5 in the Charlotte Hornets and Pistons game, and under 135.5 in the Air Force Nevada game. It's definitely a slate tonight that's similar to a couple weeks ago. We're going to stick to some college hoops and some NHL and stuff like that. I know Grant's got some plays in store for us as well. But yeah, we're 15-9. I think we're still in a good spot. I would like if we could get like a 5-1 week. Whoo,
Yeah.
baby.
Big.
That would that brings us to 20-10 on the year. That's a good record. So we need to get some winners out. Still haven't had a losing week yet. And I think this week we're gonna have another good slate. Grant, if you're ready, let's open up
Sure.
with pick 1 of the Dungeon Six Pack.
Yeah, obviously, slates can be a little bit dry on Friday, but I think we still got some good ones. A little bit of Ivy League. Obviously, I'm going to dabble in some NHL. And down the road, maybe some college lax or some college baseball.
There you
We'll get there. But starting off with pick number 1, I like Grand Canyon spread tonight against ACU, Abilene Christian. Coming into this game, Grand Canyon's on a bit of a skid. They've lost 3 of their last 5, but this team is still loaded with a lot of talent, and they have one of the best home court advantages in mid-major basketball. I think Grand Canyon matches up really well with ACU defensively, as ACU loves to live in the paint, and 64.6% of their shots are 2-point shots, and that plays right into Grand Canyon's strengths in terms of their 2-point shooting defense, which is 23rd in the country. And going back to Grand Canyon's home court advantage, it's gonna be rocking in there tonight. I think it's a Christian. I'm pretty sure it's a Christian school.
It
yeah,
is
it's a big Christian school, so I'm sure they take athletics and basketball very seriously, as there's nothing else to do there other than go to a basketball game.
Go to church.
Yes, exactly. They rank number 1 in their conference in terms of offensive efficiency, field goal percentage, offensive rebounding percentage, and they rank 3rd in turnover percentage in the conference while playing at home against conference opponents. So I think it's a good bounce back spot for Grand Canyon, coming off of 2 narrow losses, and I think this could potentially turn into a blowout. So I like -6 tonight for Grand Canyon. This could move a little bit.
Yeah, Ryan with the Antelopes. I think
right, the Antelopes.
Honestly, very underrated college mascot in terms of I love their color scheme too. You know, them and TCU, like, oh man, it just resonates. And I know back at home we got the Mountain Union Purple Raiders. Very, very underrated sports colorway.
Correct.
I love the purple and a lot of colors, but yeah. So Ryan with the Antelopes. I'm gonna go now to a team who has had this figure over them for the past couple of years. You may have heard of her. Her name's Sister Jean. All right. We're riding with Loyola Chicago plus 7.5 against Dayton. Loyola Chicago is at home. This place is rocking. They're not losing with Sister Jean in attendance. I'm gonna be honest. I don't even know if Sister Jean is alive still. I'm pretty sure she is.
She may be. Yeah,
okay.
I think she might be.
Yeah, this is even a better example of backing the Ramblers in the spot. They got a junior forward, Philip Alston, who's been finding the lane consistently. This guy is a prolific scorer for them. He can really fill it up. Super quick off the dribble. He's leading the team in scoring with just under 15 points. He's got averages 6 rebounds a game and a block a game too. He's a nice two-way player for them. He gets up and down the floor. He's actually an Ohio native, if you didn't know that, Grant. Yeah, and he knocks down 41% of his threes. Really good guy in space. Is one of his last outings out, he had 22 points and 6 boards. Really nice guy to watch play. And Dayton and Loyola Chicago, they ever since that Obi year, Dayton has been a notoriously slow team in pace. They have a lack of scoring. It's going to make it tough for them to cover this spread on the road. I think Loyola has a really good shot at winning this game. I know we're thinking about doing a little segment here, Dog of the Day. Maybe we'll get to it in a couple shows, but if we did have that, I would be all right with getting Loyola Chicago at plus 250. I think it's a really good bet. And you're getting 7.5 points with my play anyways. So I think it's going to be good. Flyers are coming off 2 big wins, so expect a little bit of drop off there. It's really hard to come out firing all cylinders 3 games in a row. So I'm going to side with the home team and take the points. Grant, could you lead us into pick 3?
Yeah. So Friday, obviously notorious for Ivy League basketball.
Of course.
We're going to go with Penn plus 2.5 over Yale tonight. I like the home underdog in this spot. And, like we said, where we might get into a segment of, Dog of the Day here in a couple episodes, this would be another team I would just take outright in this situation. This is a huge game for both sides, as Penn sits just 1 game back from the conference leading Yale in the Ivy League. And Penn's red hot right now, as they're on a 5-game win streak and they're averaging over 81 points per game in that span. 4-1-1 against the spread in their last 6, 3-0-1 against the spread in their last 4 against teams with winning records. So they're doing against good teams.
Wow. Yeah.
They're 14-9 against the spread all year. Penn, this guy may have one of the best names in college basketball. Jordan Dingle will be the best player in this game. Yeah, Jordan Dingle up there with Boo Buie.
I like Boo Buie from Northwestern, yeah.
Yeah, Boo Buie and Jordan Dingle, possibly 2 of the best names, but Jordan Dingle is going to be the best player in this game, and he's widely regarded as, the best player in the Ivy League. And I'm expecting a really, really tight game. A loss for Penn is basically going to put them out of the running in the Ivy League title for the Ivy League title. And this is the biggest thing I found on this game. So doing a little bit of research, in the last 10 matchups between Penn and Yale, the home team is 10-0.
Wow.
And has covered 9 of the last 11 matchups.
Wow. So that dates back 4 or 5 years.
Yeah. Obviously the biggest thing, the last 5 years have no effect on this game, but something definitely to consider and shows you how important home field advantage is in this matchup.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So
Yale is obviously significantly worse on the road, as they just averaged 68 points per game compared to their 83.9 at home. And Yale's solid team. Obviously, they're leading the Ivy League, but Penn's right behind him, and I like this spot for
yeah,
him.
and they need to get it done tonight.
They do, and home dogs have been a good trend in college basketball this year, and Penn's on a roll. I like Penn tonight.
Quakers. I'm all over it. All right, I'm gonna now go to the Horizon League, where I'm gonna roll with my Vikings once again. Public is on Wright State, and you know what? We're fading the public today. Cleveland State -1.5. This Cleveland State team is going to be vying for a top spot in the Horizon League, coming off a huge win against YSU, getting them just a game closer in the standings. And with the Horizon League, both of your first two games are actually at home. So we don't go to Indianapolis until the semifinals. So it's so imperative for these teams to get home court advantage. I know last year Vikings played Robert Morris and it really carried them out in a close game. And this year I expect Cleveland State to make that final push into the number 1 seed. Looking to go, 3-time Horizon League champions, 3 years in a row, I should say, under new management, under Daniil Robinson. I really like this team. Deshaun Parker has been an ace for us all year. Spider Johnson has just been filling it up. He had a game-winning bucket last week in a nice offensive rebound tip in. These guys get open, open shots, and they're a really good foul shooting team too down the stretch. And something that is very understated, they had Grant Basile, who starts for Virginia now, and then they have Tanner Holden, who gets really good minutes at Ohio State. Wright State has lost both those guys in the last calendar year. Wright State was a force to be reckoned with last year. Don't get me wrong; they were actually Cleveland, who knocked Cleveland State out of the Horizon League in Indianapolis last year to the semifinals, and Wright State ended up winning the league. They were conference champions in the postseason. So Wright State used to be, a powerhouse in this Horizon League, and they still are up in the top of the pool for the standings. But I'm running with the Vikings tonight. I don't believe Wright State has enough offensive firepower to get it done. And in the Horizon League, home teams cover. That's just how it works. So I really like the Vikings in the spot. And I'm going to roll with Daniil Robinson and the Cleveland State Vikings. Grant?
Yeah, due to low battery, I'm going to try to come out here quick with this third one. Dallas Stars money line in the NHL. They got them Wild tonight. And this is the 4th time they've met, with the Stars winning 2 out of those 3 games. And to me, the Stars are just much better team than the Wild in every aspect. The Wild have been struggling and just really aren't clicking. I believe their best player in their veteran, I don't know if he's a goalie or a forward, but I believe he is out tonight, and they had to call up someone from the AHL.
Oh, wow.
To come up and play for them.
Yeah.
And the Stars just came off of 2 tough losses to really, really good teams. And I see this as, a bounce back spot for them, as I think they're being undervalued by the book. And I love taking them here at -110.
Yeah. I'm actually going to parallel right off of your back on this one as well. I have the Minnesota team total. I have under 2.5 goals at +115 plus money. The Wild have only gotten to 3 goals once in their last 11 games. That's once in their last 11 games. The odds of them suddenly finding their sticks and making shots, like, where's that coming from in Vegas? The Stars are the number 2 scoring defense in the league. It's going to be really, really hard to get pucks on net tonight. I love the Wild under team total 2.5 goals tonight. But Grant, I think we're going to get out some winners this week, and
I think so too.
I want to get to a break real quick, and we'll wrap up the show. But yeah, keep following us along on the Dungeon Six Pack, and we're going to keep making you money. Let's do this thing. All right, Grant, that wraps up the Dungeon Six Pack for February 17th. Nice Friday slate for you. You got to get creative when it comes to Fridays. Not too much action. Of course, we don't have any NBA tonight because of the All-Star break. But I think we are going to get some winners out. These are well researched and well conducted plays, and for the most part, I know I was going against the public in a couple of them, but that's what you got to do sometimes. Right. You got to get your hands in the mud, get dirty, and we're not afraid to do that on this show. That's what it boils down to. Grant, I want to say thank you for coming on again. Yep. I know it's been a couple of busy weeks for you, and glad to hear that you're going to have some more free time and open up for doing some other stuff around. But yeah, it's been good. It's been fun, and I know I'm looking forward to seeing how this week plays out. And just another week closer, man. Getting the March
Right.
Madness. It's gonna be fun. I know we got the Genesis going on now. If anyone dabbles in golf, I got a little insider for you. Take John Rahm plus 250 live. Nice little play, bonus play for you. But yeah, Genesis is coming up. John Rahm's been playing well. But other than that, Grant, any final thoughts?
Yeah. Busy couple weeks for me, obviously. Basketball tournament I was coaching in. Made it to the second round. Fortunately, got knocked out by a good team, but a lot of free time on my platter here. Obviously, got school, but other than that, it's just going to be hooping, researching, betting. That's about it. So I'm excited to. I'm excited for this next couple weeks. I'm excited for March Madness coming up here soon, and let's make some money this weekend.
Yeah, for sure. And there's nothing better for a 21-year-old, 22-year-old.
That's right.
Exactly what you just said. Playing a couple hoops, researching, getting some in.
Right.
Grant, I want you to take us away with your line real quick.
Yeah, guys. I mean, seriously, keep betting. I mean, keep tailing us. We haven't had a losing week yet. A couple 500 weeks. Unfortunately, obviously, we had the unlucky injury to Brock Purdy that cost us probably a week in the green.
Mhm.
Last week was definitely a misfire on our part. We still ended up 500 thanks to JD going 2-1 in the 6-pack. But just remember, guys, 90% of gamblers quit before they
That's right.
hit their big win. So the big win's coming, guys, and
Go.
I see a big win coming this week for us.
Let's go. I love it. Thank you guys all for watching and listening. Make sure you hit us up on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, everything like that. Really appreciate all your support. And until next time, we'll see you guys. Peace.